Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie Bree, and it's time for me to make my list of the greatest filmmakers of all time. I've already done my list of hacks. So here's the top 25 greatest filmmakers of all time with, some examples of the films that made them great. We're going to start number 25 off with Irving Kershner. Now, he's done quite a few pictures, more than you may realize. But he's probably, for most people, most famous for being the director of The Empire Strikes Back, which is a fan-fucking-tastic movie. Let's be real. To some people, the best of the Star Wars franchise. And for many people, the best of the original franchise, if nothing else. A lot of people's favorite Star Wars movie. Number 24, Sofia Coppola. Now, she's done a lot of movies as well, but she makes the list pretty much for two movies alone. The first movie is, oh my god, I can't remember what it's called. Shit. I have to look it up real quick. My brain went blank. It's with Scarlett Johansson. Lost in Translation, there it is. I don't know why I have a hard time remembering the name of that film, but it's a damn good film. But even if she hadn't made that one, she makes the list because of the Virgin Suicides, which, if you haven't seen the Virgin Suicides, fair warning. First, you need to see it. Second, it is depressing as fuck, so fair warning. Alright, number 23 is Jon Favreau. Favreau? I don't know how the fuck you say his name, dude. He's famous for making Marvel films, and he does a pretty damn good job at it. I would argue the MCU probably wouldn't be as strong as it is if he hadn't put his fingerprints all over it. Number 22 is Jim Henson. We don't talk about that Muppet fluffy piece of fuck. Dark Crystal, we don't even say its name most of the time. He makes the list because of Labyrinth and Labyrinth alone. Moving on. Number 21 is Joe Dante. Joe Dante. This one is going to be confuddling because I put him on here for Gremlins. But he's done other stuff. But now that I think about it, I don't know if Joe Dante was Gremlins. Joe, god damn it, Joe Dante, American filmmaker. Yeah, he did Gremlins, also The Burbs. Okay, I thought he was Gremlins. Anyways, that was confusing because I have Chris Columbus under Gremlins as well. Spoiler. Interesting. I may have fucked up, but anyways, Joe Dante did Gremlins, and he's a king among men for doing it. Number 20, I put Ron Howard on the list. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Ew, you like Apollo 13? God, no. Fuck, no. But you know what I do like? Cocoon. God damn your ass, I do. Damn good fucking movie. Now, Ron Howard's had some other films. I'm not going to list them all. But you know what? He deserves credit just for Cocoon alone. You know what I mean? It's a damn good movie. Number 19 is Robert Zemeckis. And again, he's done a lot more than you probably know him for. But he makes the list because of Back to the Goddamn Future. It's an A-plus film franchise. It's a damn fucking good movie. It's a good trilogy. It's just good. It's just damn good fun all the way around. Number 18 is David Cronenberg. He makes the list for a trilogy of films. They're not really a trilogy, but a trio, we'll say. The first is the Fly remake, which is, pretty sick, but I say that in a good way. He also did the sci-fi horror hit Scanners, in the obscure but not too obscure Videodrome. Just as some examples of why he belongs on this list. Number 17 is Roger Corman. He just did a lot of creature features, and he's damn good at it. So you want to check him out for those. Now, number 16, you're thinking should be higher on the list because it's Wes Craven. He did A Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, The Last House on the Left. And Nightmare on Elm Street's my favorite movie of all time. It is. But he's not the greatest filmmaker out of all of them. He loses more than significant number of points for Making People Under the Stairs, which is a movie that fucked me up as a kid. And so he lost significant points for that. I'm sorry. But you can't talk about horror movies or films in general without talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street or Scream. Number 15 is Clive Barker. Clive Barker makes the list, simply put, Hellraiser. But if that wasn't enough to convince you, Candyman. Moving on. Number 14 is Rob Zombie. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would I put Rob Zombie above Clive Barker and Wes Craven? Because, people are going to shit all over those Halloween films, and with good reason. But listen, House of a Thousand Corpses is the fucking dopest shit ever. House of a Thousand Corpses is what Texas Chainsaw Massacre wanted to be. And Rob Zombie fucking nailed it. Number 13 on the list is a bit of a stretch for greatest filmmakers of all time, but fuck it. It's Steve Miner for his work on the Friday the 13th film franchise. Because, it's one of the greatest slasher franchises ever. Yes, better than the Halloween franchise. Fuckface might not be on this list, I don't think. Because he was on my list of overrated hacks. So there you go. Number 12, Dario Argento. This one's a little interesting. Some people are going to be like, who the fuck is that? Are you even saying words? Yes. He's an Italian filmmaker, you racist motherfuckers. And he did phenomenal films like the Demons franchise, Phenomena, The Church, Suspiria, so on and so forth. My two favorites of those are Phenomena and The Church. Number 11 is Tobe Hooper. Tobe Hooper, he's got some good credits to his name, but the man makes the list because he did Invaders from Mars remake in the 1980s, and that is a top-notch sci-fi horror remake. That is how you do sci-fi horror remakes. Number 10 is George A. Romero. He's the father of zombie movies. He created the genre with Night of the Living Dead. And then perfected it just a few years later with Dawn of the Dead. Number 9 is Luc Besson, or Besson, I don't know how you say it. I apologize. He makes the list for one film and one film alone. It's one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time, The Fifth Element. Number 8 is Ridley Scott. He makes the list because of Alien, among other things. Number 7 is Richard Donner. He's on here because of The Goonies, let's be real. But he also did Home Alone and Lethal Weapon, which he didn't need to do because he had already done The Goonies, which justified him on this list. Now, I put Chris Columbus, I put him under Gremlins, but he didn't direct Gremlins. So I have to make a correction. Chris Columbus, American filmmaker. What did he make? Oh, he did Home Alone. Never mind, I fucked up. Looks like he also did Mrs. Doubtfire and some Harry Potter shit. Alright. So, I apologize for giving credit to Richard Donner for a film he didn't do. Oops, my bad. But yeah, Chris Columbus right there, Home Alone. Number 5, the Wachowski sisters. And if you don't love the fucking Matrix, then I don't know why you're watching my YouTube channel, honestly. Number 4 is Kevin Smith because of his Jane Silent Bob films, but most notably Clerks, Chasing Amy, and Mallrats. He just gifted humanity with some of the greatest fucking comic book fandom stuff in existence. Number 3 is Bryan Singer. He's on the list because of motherfucking X-Men Don't At Me. He's done other stuff, great stuff, worthy of high praise, but that X-Men movie, we wouldn't have an MCU if that X-Men movie hadn't been as fucking goddamn phenomenal as it was. Number 2, Steven motherfucking Spielberg. If he puts his name on it, you are 99.99% guaranteed it's going to be a fucking awesome ass movie. He did E.T., he did Poltergeist, he did Jaws, he did Jurassic Park, he did Indiana Jones, he did Minority Report, which we can do without, but he did it anyways. He did Saving Private Ryan. Oh my god, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Steven Spielberg is by far one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, but not the greatest. There's one man above them all, one man to rule them all, one man to bind them all, or as it goes. And no, it isn't that hack who did The Lord of the Rings. I'm just trying to kind of fuck up. Misquote The Lord of the Rings a little bit. Okay. If you can't already tell who the number one filmmaker is of all time, because he's literally the guy that created the greatest film of all time, the biggest sci-fi franchise of all time, the most popular sci-fi movie of all time, it's fucking George Lucas. The dude gave us Star Wars. If you didn't already know that Star Wars was the greatest film of all time, you're probably dead, or you haven't been born yet, so why are you watching this video if you're an amiibo? Amoeba? I don't know. Whatever. It's George motherfucking Lucas, y'all.